Hello, planty people. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Darylyn. This is Ralphie, and today we are going to be talking about two things that a number of people have asked me about. The first being, how's Ralphie doing? As you can see, he's doing very well. He's getting big and strong. And the second thing is, how are you puppy-proofing your plant collection? Now, I have had two puppies in the past 2 years, and I've had plants the entire time. So even before Ralphie came into the picture, back when I only had Pippa, I had already kind of set up my plants pretty well to work for a dog. However, no two dogs are the same, even when they're from the same breed. And Pippa was a pretty laid-back dog as far as leaving things alone went, and she never really showed much interest in my plants or tried to eat anything or really ever tried to ruin anything. This little boy is a complete 180 from that. He's extremely curious, he's extremely tactile, he's always trying to put everything in his mouth, he's always trying to bite everything, chew on everything, taste everything, and he's mischievous too. Like this morning I pulled a Q-tip out of his mouth. I have no idea where he got a Q-tip. I don't know. You just like to keep mommy on her toes, don't you? Oh my god, and he's a squirmy worm. Ralphie! So really quickly, we're just gonna go over a couple of things that I've done to help keep this little boy safe, because also another thing is that most of the plants that I like to keep happen to be poisonous. And so making sure that he's safe and also making sure that my plants are up and out of the way is really important. So the first thing that I've done, and this is stuff that I've been doing for years, is that I intentionally have placed my plants up and out of the way of any potential puppy mouths. I don't have a lot of floor plants. I don't have a lot of plants sitting on the ground anywhere where the dog could get to them. I've installed a number of shelves in my house. I've gotten a number of, small end tables that I can place plants on. And I have them on my breakfast bar in my kitchen. And just as much as possible, oh, Bubs, they're so sweet. And just trying to keep them up and away from him as much as possible. And this goes for not only plants, but also plant products too. Pippa was so good about leaving things alone that I never even really thought twice about where I stored certain fertilizers or fungicides or things of that nature. This little guy, if he finds it, it's going in his mouth. So I had to rethink a number of my storage setups in order to make sure that he stays safe. Another thing that is an option though, if you aren't able to move your plants, if they're too big, you don't have a spot to put them that's up and off the ground, is a baby gate. If you have a plant room and you're planning on getting a little puppy, I would highly, highly, highly recommend that you put a baby gate in that doorway and just never let the dog have a chance to get in there. And you should also definitely never leave a young puppy unattended in a space where there are things that they could get into. So if you're going to be leaving your dog at home, they have puppy pens that you can get. Also, crate training is great as well, but crates are small, and a lot of times puppies will cry and scream and be very sad if you leave them in a crate. Another thing that has been really, really helpful is actually a product called bitter apple spray. So this is a product that's designed to teach your dog that whatever they're getting into just tastes yucky, and then they won't want to chew on it anymore. And then you can spray this all over everything you don't want your dog to eat. So I've sprayed it on my coffee table, a lot of my furniture, our shoes. Actually, we were having some issues with him biting too hard when he was playing, so we sprayed it on our hands and our arms. Not every dog hates the taste of it, but if your dog does happen to hate the taste of it, it is a miracle worker. It has gotten him to completely leave things alone that otherwise I would have just had to have, gotten rid of, moved. Like, I don't know what I would have done without it. So it's definitely helped. It's definitely helped to keep him from, oh my god, you're such a wiggle worm. It's definitely helped to keep him away from chewing on things on my plant stands. It's helped to keep him from chewing on things like power cords for lamps and power strips, cords that go to grow lights, to the TV. It's actually even helped him stop, licking and chewing on specific places on like our baseboards and our walls. So bitter apple spray. If you are planning to get a puppy, I highly recommend that you use that. And even if you have an adult dog that won't stop chewing on stuff, try the bitter apple spray because you may be able to break them of that habit. It has just been an absolute lifesaver. The other thing too, in addition to, just configuring my house so that he's not able to get things, is that it's really important that you make sure your puppy is getting a lot of exercise and a lot of interaction so that when they are in the house, they're not running around wild trying to grab everything. And I know that's much, much easier said than done, but it's been very helpful for this little boy, yeah. And having lots of other more interesting things for them to play with, toys that are interactive, toys that squeak, also helps them be much less interested in stuff that they're not supposed to get a hold of. So I know this was a little bit chaotic and disjointed because Mr. Man here was being a squirmy worm, but that's what I've been doing to keep him and the plants living in peace and harmony so that we don't have any mishaps, because let me tell you, going to the dog emergency room is absolutely no fun. So definitely make sure before you bring your puppy home that if you have any long trailing plants that they could potentially get to, you're either pulling those vines up off of the floor or just cutting them off. Spray that bitter apple spray on all your plant stands. I actually even sprayed it on some of my leaves, especially on these variegated monsteras. And then if you have a specific room or a nook where you have lots of plants and it's just not feasible to get them all off of the floor, just put up a baby gate. And you can even use the bitter apple spray to spray the baby gate so that the dog doesn't try and chew through it. That was something that Pippa loved to do, was chew on the baby gate. So those are my quick little puppy proofing tips. If anyone has any other ideas, please feel free to share them in the comments. Unfortunately, I have no advice for what to do if you have a cat. My house isn't cat proof at all, but I do love to hear other people's clever solutions to devious kitties munching on their plants. So that is gonna be it for me today. A little bit short and sweet, kind of chaotic. I think this little boy wants to go out. So I will talk to you later and see you in my next one. Bye.